She's just getting credit? You don't need it? All right, we're done. You're getting the credit. Let's go.
What I'm getting? But let me see. I need to see.
You got the paperwork to give it to her?
Yes, thank you. I need the paperwork.
All right.
On 15 December 2024, officers were dispatched to the Spirit Airlines ticket counter at Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport in Florida after staff reported a disruptive passenger refusing to leave. The woman at the counter, identified on scene as Candace, openly admitted on body camera that she had been drinking, yet insisted on boarding her Spirit Airlines flight to Bradley International Airport in Connecticut. Spirit Airlines staff refused to check her in after observing signs of intoxication. Under federal regulation 14 F R Section 121.575. No air carrier may permit boarding of any person who appears to be intoxicated. Federal Law 49 U.S.C. Section 44902 also grants air carriers permissive authority to refuse transport to any passenger the carrier decides is, or might be, inimical to safety. The decision rests with the airline, not police.
Sweetheart, come here, let me talk to you.
Come on, pay for me to stand
Come here, let me talk to you. I want to talk to you.
And she's not going to assist me in traveling. Who's going to assist me in traveling after
First, what's going on? What happened?
I want to know what's going on. I had a flight for Bradley Airport.
Just say we're on the 22. 4-1.
I got a Bradley Airport ticket to Bradley Airport to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Well, for Miami to Bradley Airport for 10-something today,
Yeah.
the 15th. I wanted to travel that flight. Yeah, I've been drinking a little bit, but I still want to travel home.
Yeah.
I want to make it home.
Okay.
So what does that have to do with her travel, making me a flight?
But you got to understand, your delivery right now is kind of rough.
But it's not rough. I've been asking her nicely.
Listen.
Even before I spoke to her, I spoke for another
You're not letting me talk to you.
I am.
I understand that. Remember, end of the day, it's spirit.
Yeah, it is.
Spirit allows if they want you to fly or not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So, like I'm trying to say to you, I don't know what their policy is, but you got to follow that. But when you've been drinking enough, you're a little toasty, you are.
1, 2 drinks.
3 drinks you putting out of your finger right there.
But I'm not. I'm not overreacting. I'm not being mean to her.
Listen.
But have I been mean to you?
Listen.
I've been very polite to you.
You're not listening to me.
I just want to flight.
You listen to me.
I understand what you're saying.
This is what we're gonna do.
Yes.
You're gonna talk to her, and what their decision is their final decision. Okay.
Okay.
So
let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
For the final decision, because I ain't stupid. Her final decision, she's gonna give me is she gonna give me a hotel room?
Listen, that's Spirit choice. I can't tell you that.
I can afford to spend money on Spirit, and they're not gonna give me a hotel room.
The thing is, they can
calm me down.
They can always refund you back your money.
They can do that too, but I also want them to fund me a hotel room.
If they refund you back your money, that's the thing. So what's your final decision?
Give me a hotel room. Let me calm down.
You're not talking. You're not talking.
For tonight? So you would do that for me not to. I'm not fit to travel. I can deal with that. I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
Listen, what's your name?
Candace Lorraine Khalees. Come on now. I'm not that stupid.
Candace.
But I just want to make sure she's willing to give me that and not give me nothing. Then I'll be spending a hotel room with nothing. I got to spend more money out of my pocket. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
Because even if she don't give me the hotel,
Candace,
no. But listen,
if she get a hotel room, yes or no? You're not getting a hotel room.
So what is I'm staying here for?
All right then. So she's just getting a flight for tomorrow, right?
But why can't I get a hotel room if I'm a little under the influence?
Are you guys
But I'm just saying, if I'm under the influence,
are you done with it?
but if I'm under influence,
What you want to do, Candace, is your choice.
but if I'm under the influence, when you should be willing to give me a hotel room.
They're not going to give you a hotel room, Candace.
So where am I supposed to sit on the street?
You can stay in the airport and chill for
people laying over here on the seats all the time.
Yeah.
Public intoxication alone is not a crime in Florida. Florida Statute Section 856.011. Disorderly intoxication requires intoxication plus endangering another person or property, or causing a public disturbance in a public place. A first conviction is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 60 days in jail and a $500 fine. When denied boarding, Candace shifted her demands, insisting Spirit provide her a free hotel room for the night. Spirit Airlines' contract of carriage, like that of every major U.S. carrier, expressly excludes hotel accommodations when denied boarding results from passenger conduct. The officer was communicating a contractual reality, not inventing a rule. The officer applied the Police Executive Research Forum's ICAT de-escalation framework. Maintain calm, give clear short answers, avoid arguing, and offer concrete next steps. He did not match her volume or threaten arrest prematurely.
Y'all can't be kidding me, but
Candace, no person.
me spending my money on a hotel room to be spending the night on a hotel floor.
Candace, no person.
Give me a hotel room. Why you can't give me a hotel room? I am taking responsibility. But you gonna leave me in the hotel room under the influence that I'm a little saucy? I mean, being honest.
I'm getting you home on the next available flight, but I cannot give you a hotel room.
If you're giving me responsibility to be going home on tomorrow, why would you leave me in a hotel being?
We have your flights here ready for you just because you're not fit to travel. So it's not like your flight.
So if I'm not fit to travel, will you be nice enough to give me a hotel room? Why?
Candace, you're not getting a hotel room.
But I'm just saying, why would you give me a hotel room if I'm not fit to travel? Stop it, officer. Why wouldn't I be ever? Why would you be if you know that I'm not eligible to fly?
Candace.
But I'm being honest with you. If it was you, I would be kind enough to give you a hotel room for you to spend the night, so you can relax.
All right, come on, Candace.
All right, whatever. I just don't understand how I spend my $200 and something dollars. But I'm just saying, if I spend my $200 and something dollars.
And I agree,
But I'm just saying, if it was you,
I agree.
and you spend your $200 and something dollars, they not giving. Mind your business. If I'm not giving you $200,
I don't know.
if I'm not
You're the
giving,
king, though. That's why.
but if I'm not
Why you don't
giving
like this guy?
I'm not saying I don't like him.
He's a good guy.
No, I don't say I don't like you, but I'm just saying if I was giving you $200 to deal with Spirit,
I agree.
that's not even that
Come on, wait a
experience.
second. Let's go sit
To
down.
let you travel, why wouldn't they give you that?
I agree.
I'm being honest.
I get.
Like really, literally.
I get what you're saying, Candace.
No, you not get what I'm saying. If you kicking me out the airport.
I'm not kicking you out, but
You are.
I'm trying to make you get to sit down. Where you say that?
If I'm up like this and I'm
That's why I want you to sit down.
why wouldn't you give me a hotel room so I can chill out for the night?
Come sit down. Sit down.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Officer.
It's either you're gonna get the thing or
Officer, you either gonna give me a room for tonight, you know that I'm sober, and I can't function right. Be honest with yourself, or you gonna give me another room.
They can't help you. It's either
No.
you know any
I
airport
know
close
I
enough.
don't go to airport
Hey,
nearby.
watch your mouth.
Cause you put me on the spot.
That's what I'm trying to help you.
You're not
All right,
tell me when you know
we're
there's no
done.
airport
Come on,
on the spot.
We're done. Come on.
Like
trying to-
you know.
We're done.
Done.
Come on.
Can I get my ticket? Can I get my money back?
You want your refund?
Yes.
She want a refund. When you want a refund, you're done with Spirit, though.
Then I'd rather be done with Spirit then
All
because
right, let her get a
at the end of the day, she's
refund.
not giving me a refund or give me.
She's gonna give you a refund.
You gonna give me another flight?
I'm trying to on standby.
And you think that shit is okay for being here for 2 days in the airport?
You wanna go? Listen.
No, I mean,
It's either-
being honest as a police officer.
Now listen to me. You gonna calm down, or are you gonna be somewhere else?
But being as a
Calm down. I'm not doing.
well, literally being honest
Calm down.
as a police officer, being in the airport for 2 days.
You're getting a refund. That's it. You're done.
No,
You're done with
literally,
Spirit.
but being in the airport for
You're
2
done with
days.
Spirit. We try to help you. You're
No,
getting a
you better
refund.
not only be here for 2 days in the airport.
Let's go. You're getting a refund.
Like literally being here for 2 days in the airport.
So you're getting your.
You're no help to me.
You're getting a refund.
I'll take my refund and go about it.
Candace eventually accepted a refund, but refused to leave the terminal and began recording the officers. While the First Amendment protects recording police in public, it does not nullify a lawful trespass warning from a property owner. Florida Statute Section 810.08 governs trespass in a structure, A person who willfully remains in any structure after being warned to depart by the owner, lessee, or an authorized agent, such as airline counterstaff, commits trespass. Spirit Airlines, as lessee of the counter space, revoked her invitation. Florida statute. Section 901.15. Then authorized the officer to make a warrantless arrest for a misdemeanor committed in his presence after the trespass warning was ignored.
I would take my refund to go about my business.
Nah,
I'm
we're done.
being honest.
Let's get a refund.
Because if I'm for him to be an officer, he's not helping me out. For sleeping in the airport for 2 days for
Hey, one more.
I'm done. Let me get my refund. Let me get my refund. I'll take my refund. Because he's not helping me out. I thought you was helping me out.
I was.
How? You letting me sleep in the airport for 2 days?
You get a refund. You're done.
How? You helping me out? You making me sleep in the airport for 2 days? You sober up for 2 days? That's not sober enough for 2 days. I only need 24 hours to sober up. How can I get arrested for him helping me out, for helping me for 2 days?
Hey, no more. Just refund and it's free out.
Man. That's ridiculous. That's a lawsuit right there. If he gonna lock me up for being sober for 2 days, that's a lawsuit. Let's go with it. I'm willing to go with it. Hello? Hello? How can he take me to jail and I'm asking for help? He's not willing to help me. He's trying to make me spend a night in the
After you give her a refund, she's done.
Man, I'm done. Bye. I'll be done. I'll be done. 'Cause I'm not giving a about somebody having me sleep in the airport. You in here. You were not trying to help me, making me spend a night in the airport for 2 days.
I'm done talking to you.
Why wouldn't you make me stop? You done talking to me, you making me spend the night.
She just get a credit? You don't need it? All right, we're done. You're getting the credit. Let's go.
What I'm getting? But let me see. I need to see. I need
You got
to
the
see.
paperwork to give it to her?
Yes, thank you. I need the paperwork.
All right, you're done. You're done.
No, I need the paperwork. I need the number.
Give her a confirmation number.
Thank you. You're not about to leave me out in the open.
Give her a confirmation number printed out, and she's done.
That's not going to make me for 2 days for nothing. And you still trying to make me wait for 2 days.
All right, guys. You gotta go.
I'm not giving nobody a hard time.
You're done. Let's go.
Why are you being so hard on
Come
me?
on, let's go. It's either that or
All right,
you're gonna
come
go to
on,
jail.
come on.
It's either that or you're gonna go to jail.
Why are you trying to sit me in jail when I'm trying to get a flight out of the house?
We're done. You gotta leave this airport.
Why do I have to leave the airport when I'm telling you I'm trying to get a flight?
It's either this or you're gonna go to jail.
Why is you doing this to me when I tell you I was trying to get a flight
I'm
though?
gonna tell you again. Let's
But
go.
I'm being honest.
Ma'am, you're
I'm willing to go.
Let's go.
No,
Come on.
let's get it on record before I walk out of the airport because I'm recording everything. Now, why am I leaving the airport when I
Let's go
told
out.
you?
Let's go outside.
No, when I told you
All right, this is the last
that I was leaving the airport.
You're done. You're going to jail.
I was telling you I was leaving. But I told you I was leaving the airport. And why am I? Why am I done? If I told you I was leaving the airport. And you still put handcuffs on me for no reason. You're really taking me out of the airport for no reason. Like literally, when I asked you for no fault. You see how they treated me, right?
Let's go.
All right. I just want y'all to know. I just want y'all to know. Stop dragging me like that. Officer.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
All right, but I'm forcing. I'm telling you that. I'm so you're so loyal. Stop dragging me like that.
The escort began. Under the Supreme Court's 1989 ruling in Graham v. Connor, Use of force is judged by objective reasonableness, weighing offense severity, immediate threat, and whether the subject is actively resisting or attempting flight. Here the offenses were misdemeanors. The threat was low. Resistance was verbal and passive. The force used, guided walking with arm control, sat at the low end of the use of force continuum. No strikes, no takedown, no weapons drawn. Candace claimed she was being dragged. The body camera footage clearly contradicted that. In civil rights actions under 42 U.S. C. Section 1983, courts routinely rely on body camera recordings to resolve disputes about force. Candace was charged with 2 second-degree misdemeanors: disorderly intoxication under Florida Section 856.011 and trespass under Section 810.08. Each carries up to 60 days in county jail and a $500 fine. In our analysis, the lead officer earned a B+ for textbook de-escalation and minimum necessary force. Candace earned a D for ignoring every available off-ramp. Spirit Airlines earned an A- for correctly applying federal boarding regulations. Lesson 1. For passengers, admitting intoxication on camera eliminates any factual dispute about that element. Once an airline lawfully denies boarding under federal law, no statute compels them to provide lodging. Accept the refund and leave. Lesson 2. A civil dispute becomes a criminal arrest the moment you refuse to leave after a lawful trespass warning. Repeating the same demand louder does not change the law. It only supplies the disturbance element of disorderly intoxication. Lesson 3. The constitutional right to record police in public, recognized in Smith v. City of Cumming, does not override a private property owner's right to revoke your license to remain. Pressing record is not a shield against trespass. Lesson 4. For officers and airlines, 14 CFR. Section 121.57, 5 places the boarding decision with the carrier. Officers should not substitute their own judgment on fitness to fly. Their lane is keeping the peace and enforcing trespass statutes.